Hello, this is Steve from the Fluorescent Flying Penguins. Today I'm going to be talking about how to make a MyBlock and what a MyBlock does. So what a MyBlock does is it allows you to make a long series of blocks into just one block. So right now I'm going to show you the program we're going to be using for this demonstration. What this program is as you can see, it's a really big program that makes the robot ramp up the power and then ramp down the power when it moves. So, as you can see, it's really long. So we're going to make this into one block using the MyBlock feature. So all you have to do to highlight your entire program is press Control A. And then if you hold Control, you can click on all the blocks that you don't want to be highlighted. So for this case, I'm going to click on the Start block. So to make a MyBlock, you want to highlight all the blocks that you want to be in your MyBlock. Once you have that done, you can go up to Tools and click on MyBlock Builder to actually make the MyBlock. So in the MyBlock Builder, there are many features, but there's one that's the most important, which is called the name. You have to name your MyBlock, otherwise you can't actually make it. So for this one, I'm going to call it Test MyBlock. So when you make a MyBlock, there are only certain things you can use your name. For example, if I press space, as you can see here, it shows you all the characters you can use, and a space isn't one of them, so you can't use a space in your name. Also over here, there's something called description, so you can type in a description of what your MyBlock does. So for this one, the MyBlock ramps up, then it moves forwards at max power, and then it ramps down. Also, something else that's really cool, you can choose what this is, which is the MyBlock icon. So you can choose between all of these depending on what you want it to be. So let's say it's something that has to do with motor rotation, you could click on the motor rotation sensor. Or if it had to do with the touch sensor, you could click on touch sensor, and so on. Another really cool feature is called perimeters. So to add a perimeter, you have to click on this plus button. So what the perimeter does is it allows you to put an input of a value, and then you can use that value inside your MyBlock. So you can add pretty much as many as you want. So something that you can do with them is you can choose different names, so later on, if I hover over it, you can see what it is. So for example, this one, in the program, it's going to be called P-POW, which is peak power. And then S-POW. To start power, so then you can change that. So later on when you hover over this input, it shows that name. And also you can make it decide whether or not you're outputting a value or inputting a value. You can decide what type it is and what the default value is. And then you can decide whether it's a horizontal slide or vertical slide or text input, which basically means putting in a wire. So then there's something else called perimeter icons, where you can change what this shows. So right now it's set as A, but you can change it to whatever you want. So for this program, I'm just going to choose random things. So for example, I could set it as that. Then for this one, I'm going to make it peak POW for later on in the program. So right now, I'm just going to set everything as it's going to be. So I'll see you back once I'm done with that. Okay, so now I'm done setting all the settings and making all the pictures. So once you're done doing all of that, you can click Finish. So then when you click Finish, it'll lag for a while. So after you make the MyBlock, it's instantly going to open the MyBlock. So in the MyBlock, you can use these wires to plug it in if you added the parameter. So you can get a number from outside of this program, and then you can put these wires into the variables that you want them to go into. So in this case, I'm just going to plug them all in order. So now what you can do is you could write variables, or you can just plain use a number inside the program, except you're getting the value from outside of the MyBlock. So if you go back to the other program, your MyBlock is probably going to be really far away off the screen if you had a really big program. So for example, if my MyBlock was over here and it's connected like this. So what you can do to get it back to here really fast is just click on this. So now that you have this over here, what's really cool is you can just type in the values instead of having to use the wire. So for example, you can type in 20 or whatever you want. Also, what's really cool is you could use a wire instead to put in the number. So right now, I'm going to show you a program that uses this MyBlock. So what this program does is it makes the robot move forward using the ramp up, ramp down move block, and then it turns. So it's going to do this 4 times. So I want you to listen closely to the motor. So when it's a low pitch, that means it's going slow, and then when it's a higher pitch, that means it's going faster. So give me a sec to plug in the robot right now. And okay, so now it's plugged in. So let me run this program. So as you can hear, it did the ramp up, ramp down, and then it turned 4 times in a row. Thank you for watching this episode of Programming with UV3. Thank you and goodbye.